Okay, so we're going to start with math. And so on Monday, we'll do our Math Talk Mondays. But I want a little connection to the idea of fruit because that's going to go with our treats for the office staff, which we're also going to be making on Monday. And it will allow for us to look at some counting options, both by ones and by five. So, and it'll allow for some different real world problem solving as well. So it'll be a few little different connections on Monday for math. And then on Tuesday for our math block, I'm thinking that the math block is probably going to be impacted a bit because of the breakfast, because the language block will probably be moved down. I'm not sure of our timing yet for the breakfast. So I think we'll probably end up doing a short coding option because it can be a little bit shorter. But I want to look at Scratch Junior and kind of explore some shapes and things that the students can make with regards to that. So, as well as the idea of counting some moves, so they can still continue to work on the counting option too. On Wednesday, I've got this ramp challenge, which will allow us to still review the concept of measurement, but with the idea of counting. So we can still kind of look at how far they go and lining up the blocks and counting in the different amounts. And by both counting by ones, but also as it gets longer, looking at the twos, fives, and tens option, as well as using the hundreds chart as a tool for that too. So I really want to kind of explore that, and then that will tie in nicely to Thursday's challenge and our Santa sleigh. So looking at a new design and then measuring, counting, recording, making the changes, reflecting on why it didn't work, and again being able to really go back with using that hundreds chart and counting by different amounts as well. Okay. And then on Friday, Miss Wedgwood has brought in the gingerbread house, so we're going to be doing that with regards to both patterns and counting. And I'm going to tie that in with a language activity as well in the morning with our kindness crew. And then it kind of also ties into the concept of structures, which we'll be exploring more after the break. And we'll also get started with building some different ones. And I'm thinking structures to house different toys so the students can see how the size impacts. And then we can still get into the idea of measurement and what kind of tool they can use to measure. And then as they're using that tool, you're also going to get into counting and number recognition too. On a different topic, I'd really like to perform the Paper Bag Princess. We have kind of gotten some of the lines down. We've worked together to take on some of the character roles. So now it's the actual acting part. So my plan is to perform that this week. And then for language, we've got our acts of kindness that will kind of guide some of our writers' workshop this week. So we've got Santa letters that we're going to write on Monday, and looking at reflecting on the kindness that we've done so far this year. That's kind of the focus on that. And then on Tuesday with caretakers and signs for the garbage and recycling, which also ties into some of our science expectations as well. And we can look at some information on Pebble Go to kind of help with this too. So there'll be a nice little tie in there. And then the kind holiday notes to our prep coverage teachers, which I'm hoping will just kind of get them to extend a little bit on some of the things. And maybe we can write one together first. So kind of do a model one together for one person, and then students can write some of their own, but to really kind of go beyond just saying thank you to discussing some of the things that they enjoy to do and really expanding on their ideas. And then a list of some kind things they can do over the holidays, which will really work into this whole idea still of sounding out, which students are getting better at and are using more, but I'd really like to focus in on that. And as some of them are doing it more, they still need the reminders about the spaces in between words, so that will also become a nice little mini lesson for this week, as well as going back at the end and editing the work, which is also something to kind of focus on for this week as well. And then on Friday, we'll look at the holiday host design, and then with the labels, and then that can kind of help guide the one that they create with Miss Wedgwood at the end of the day. So they can put that piece together as well.